Last time the message was गुरमती हर मने वसाया, हर खुशोग सब मोह गवाया, इक स्यों लिव लागी सब ही, हर नाम मन वसावणिया। By following on the footsteps of the master, Gurmati, mat literally means the intellect. Gur means the master who has been there, who has done that before. Gurmati, har mane vasaya. By following on the footsteps of the master, I was able to make my heart a dwelling for the Almighty. Har ke sog sab moh gavaya. Har means the enjoyment, happiness, excitement. Sog means the mourning, pain, suffering. Moha means attachment. All of these negative energies disappeared. Ikisyo livelagi. Now my consciousness, my awareness remains one with the ultimate one all of the time. Not just momentarily, not just weekly, because that's what most of us feel very good at. Well, I go every Sunday to the church or to the mosque or to a gurdwara. So that way we become Sunday worshippers. The rest of the 6 days we are okay. We can do whatever we want. Same is true about nowadays. Islam is celebrating Ramzan. Bhagat Kabir asks a very poignant question about this tradition in Islam. He says, 11 मास एक पा राखे एके बाय निधाना. Meaning, you keep 11 months on the side for yourself and just 1 month for him, and then you expect him to forgive you. Same is the case. If 7 days or the 7 days week, you keep 1 day for him and 6 days for yourself, what kind of division is this? You give 10% in his name and keep 90% for yourself. What kind of proportion is this? I have shared that story with you. It's worth repeating here. Somebody was losing a lot of money in business. And he was concerned that he might go into the bankruptcy. And all of the name, fame that he has earned so far, he's going to lose it. So one night, he prays that if you save me from the blemish of bankruptcy, I will sell all I got and donate it in your name. Lo and behold, next morning, the loan that he had applied gets approved, business picks up again, and his concern about the bankruptcy is removed. Now he remembers his promise. What to do? So he prepares an advertisement for the sale of all of the property. And he prices it by saying, my property and my cat is for sale. They both have to be sold together. The cat cost $1 million and the rest of the property for $10. Eventually he finds a client who buys the property and the cat. Once the deal is signed off, the customer says, now I got the property and we are not going to go back on any promise that we have made, but I'm just curious. Why did you price it this way? He said, I had made the promise to the God that I will sell the property in his name and donate all of the money earned in his name. So I sold the property for $10. I never promised anything about the cat. The cat is for 10 millions. That I will keep. But the property was sold only for $10. And that I will certainly distribute and keep my promise. That's how we deal with the ultimate creative energy. I'll give 10% in your name, but 90% I will keep. I'll give you 2 hours every week, but rest of the days are mine. I will do whatever I want to do with it. I will follow the Ramzan for 1 month, but the rest of the 11 months I am on my own. I do whatever I want to do. This type of a trade-off, and everybody does it, and everybody feels very smart about it, very happy about it. Those type of attachments, those type of intellectual gymnastics do not serve the spirituality. It doesn't help the spirit to grow at all. It keeps you tied up with the attachments. You just are not freed from the bondage. You cannot fly away to the yonder. So the message was, I understood the secret. How? Gurmukh, by following the intellect of the master. Not my own intellect, but the intellect of the master. Not my own arguments and justifications. When I followed that, I was able to make my heart a livable place for the Creator Almighty, so sab moh gavaya. All kinds of attachments. Bar none. All attachments disappeared. Ikkas syo lablagi sadhi. Now, forever and always, I am focused on the one. Har naam mane vasaavani-aa. And I only remember his name now. I only remember the word that represents him. Those who are able to do that, in our language, they are called the true meditator. There is not an equivalent word for it in English language. In our language, the word is Bhagat. So the closest word that comes to is the one who dwells on his name. Bhagat rang raatay sadaa tayrai chaa-ay. So a miracle happens. When you are on that bed, suddenly you are glowing inside and outside. There is a certain, as they say, spring in your walk. You are floating on the air. You are happy for no reason. There is no sadness on your face because there is no sadness inside. Bhagat rang raatay. Rang literally means color. There is a strange hue around your personality, around your persona. Sadaa tayrai chaa-ay. Chaa means to be happy. There is a happiness around you. There is a smiles around you. Why? niDh naam vasi-aa. See, the earlier that word was only on the tongue. It was only in words. It was only an intellectual concept. But now, it's part of my heartbeat. It is as part of me as my breath. My relationship with that word is now the relationship of a fish and a water. That's how closely I am bonded with that memory. Pure bhaag satgur paaya sabday mayl milaavani-aa. Pure bhaag means perfect blessing. I am graced, I am blessed. What are you graced about? What are you blessed with? Satgur paaya. I found the real master. Found the true master. The one who is not interested in anything other than my evolution. When the master doesn't have any attachment, you can actually see that working and you get a hope that you can also get there because you have an example right in front of you. Just a side note, I just couple of days ago heard from a friend who saw the YouTube video with this, looking like this. And the feedback was, when you are like us, when you're dressing like us, we had some hope that we can also get there. No, Now you are starting to look different from us. You are discouraging us. No, that's the way to look at it. So I promise that I am going to put this to vote and see what the majority says.
Yeah. Either is fine.
Yeah.
Equally fine.
But you can see how, if the goal is closer and visible, you strive for it. If it appears to be distant, just by looking at the distance, you get discouraged. If you recall any struggle between the villain and a hero in a movie where there's only one gun, so what happens? You can build that scene in your mind very clearly. That both jump to pick up the gun. And whenever they get closer to it, the one who cannot catch it, because he cannot catch it, he just slides it a little bit further. But they both keep struggling toward it because the gun is still in reach for both of them. That's a classic movie suspense. This is how a director builds a suspense. They keep on struggling. One gets closer, audience suddenly say, "Oh, he's going to get the gun." But then the other one, if he can't get it, he'll kick it a little bit further, and they'll continue showing more fight and more struggle. In a spiritual world, it is a similar thing. When you are able to find a master who's been there and he is sincere in your evolution, then it also gives you certain hope. I see an example. If she can get it, I can get it. So with all of the struggle, you don't stop, you don't get disheartened. And that's a very big grace, that you should find such a master. Poorai bhaag satgur, paa-i-aa. And what did the satgur do? He said, sabday mayl milaavani-aa. Satgur did not make you his or her slave, or a disciple, or a student. What Satgur did, he said, here is the word. That's what I practice. You can practice too. And his job is done. He just introduces you the path. And then he backs off. He doesn't even wait for you to say thank you, because it's unnecessary. It's not required. That's not the definition of pura satgur. A complete master has no other interest except you grow, you evolve, you get closer to him, and that's it. And when such seekers start walking on the path, what happens? Tu da-i-aal sada sukh-daata, tu aapay mayleh gurmukh jaataa. Da-i-aal means He is all giving. He is all forgiving. Totally antithesis of rest of the world concept of the Creator, where He is a punisher and He is a judge and He is a jury and He rewards few and He punishes few. None of that. That model belongs to the planet Earth. It does not belong to the metaphysical dimension. In the spiritual dimension, there is no punishment and there is no reward. Because positive and negative both do not exist. We cannot perceive that such a dimension. But that creative energy belongs to that dimension. Da-i-aal sadaa sukh-daata. Forever and ever. For eternity, you've been like that and you'll continue to be like that. Aapay, mayleh, gurmukh, jaataa. You grace, you bless few souls who are able to understand you and get closer to you. Aapay dayveh naam vadaa-ee, naam ratay sukh paavni-aa. It is your blessing, it is your grace that the word is given out and is accepted by a heart. Otherwise, majority of the hearts reject it, even though it's all around. So if somebody accepts it, that individual better not think that I got it, so and so didn't. Because now that instead of becoming your help, it will become your punishment. Because the ego will start taking over. So to cut down the roots of the I, the ego, it's a reminder. Everything is done by Him. Aapay dayveh, you. Tu literally means you. Aapay dayveh, you are the giver. Of what? Naam vadaa-ee. Naam, the word. You are the giver of the word. Not the master, not the guru, not the teacher. Do not confuse the medium with the message. The message is coming from Him. The master is a medium. Don't get attached with the medium. Don't focus on the medium. Don't try to hold on to the medium. Stay focused on Him. Aapay dayveh naam vadaa-ee, naam ratay sukh paavni-aa. It is the word that came to you that is going to make you live a fruitful life. Sada sada saachay tooN salahi. Forever and ever. Focus on the purest form of the truth. Saachay. Focus on the purest form of the truth. Gurmukh jaataa dooja ko nahi. Now, here comes the responsibility of the master. What's the responsibility of the master? Gurmukh jaataa. Through the master, through the guru, one secret was completely revealed and explained and re-explained and explained and re-explained. till it gets into your being, which is Duja ko nahi. Duja means second, the other. Ko nahi means there is none. There is no other. There is only one. Again, complete antithesis of all other system of thoughts, because other system of thought at least take three. Trinity. You go to Hinduism, you find Trinity. Vishnu, Brahma, Mahesh. You go to Islam, you find Trinity. Allah, Muhammad, Quran. You go to Christianity, you find Trinity. Father, Son, the Holy Spirit. Here the message is, there is none. There is only one. What does that mean though? How is it that only one? And the answer is, he might manifest in different forms. Just like here, right now, at this very moment. He is manifesting as a speaker, and he is manifesting as a listener. The thing to remember is, there is only one manifesting. Don't get trapped by, well, I am listening, she's listening, he's listening, she's listening. Don't get in there. No, he's listening there, he's listening there, he's listening there. And he's saying here. Unless we are able to drop the paradigm of stopping at the skin level, unless we can shift the consciousness from the outer layer, we cannot evolve spiritually. Spiritual revolution demands you go beyond the skin. Because the eyes don't go beyond the skin, that is the original sin. In the scripture, when they say, as they ate of the tree of knowledge, they became aware. Aware of what? Before the tree of knowledge, male and female coexisted in the Garden of Eden. And they did not notice anything. But sudden awareness. Intellect woke up and saw the two skins which are different than each other. I am me, you are you. The birth of the first I, first ego, first identification with the surface. Before that, in their innocence, when the intellect had not come in, it was only he created you, he created me. He was the force, the creator. After the intellect woke up, you are you, I am I. Suddenly we became sinners. That's why every human is a born sinner. It is a false propaganda that the sin is because they disobeyed. They did not disobey anything. Because if God did not want them to do this, He could have very well prevented it. It is a metaphor. It is a parable. It's not to be taken literally. The parable says it is the intellect which creates the barrier. Take a quantum leap from the primordial times to today. What is the conflict of any kind? What's the root of the conflict? It doesn't matter what kind of conflict it is. Husband, wife, parent, children, friends. What's the root of the conflict?
Ego.
The ego. I am different than you are. End of discussion. You drop that you are not different than me. You are the creation of the same creator as I am. Just your cover is different. Your package is different. Your container is different. But the content is the same. If the content is the same, what are you fighting about? What are you arguing about? Where is the disagreement? The disagreement is at the level where it says, I am I and you are you. You like this, I like that. Hence a conflict. There is absolutely no problem in eliminating the conflict from any relationship at individual level, family level, country level, nation level, religious level. There is no problem in eliminating the conflict. Just drop the I. No, but wait. My God is better than your God. You can go to the time of 10 Commandments. What is the fight between the Jews and the Egyptians? I'm going to keep you slave because I'm superior. And then the Jews come back and they said, we are not going to be your slaves because our God is better than your God. We may not be better than you because you have the money and you have the power. And we don't have the money and we don't have the power, but we have a better God than you have. Can you find a better example of egos butting head? All root cause of the problem, the ego, the I, the original sin. Original sin, I am separate from you. You are God, I am a human. So, we are separate. The master comes around and explains this riddle, solves this mystery. What does he tell you? No. Your container is causing this confusion. Gurmukh jaataa dooja ko nahi. Guru explained it to me, solved this puzzle for me and said, dooja ko nahi, there is no other. There is no second. There is no difference. The difference is of the container, and stop focusing on the container. Get rid of the container consciousness. When you were growing up, it was important so that you could survive in the world. Do you know, recently there is a movement being built up by a single mid-20s girl who goes to New York Times Square and walks, parades topless. And she is inviting everybody. If men can walk topless in the world, why can't the woman walk topless in the world? See how the distorted logic can cause all kinds of mischief. She's not saying, because it's the same God in you that is in me, why should we be different? That's not. She's not evolved to that level. She's only saying, I want to walk topless in the world and nobody should object. And now they are trying to design one day a year there will be parade in the city in the name of equality. And anybody who wants to participate in that will have to be topless. In Saudi Arabia, they have announced to establish a city in which no man will be allowed to enter. There will be 5,000 women living in that city, running that city, managing the resources of that city. And if they get in trouble, no man is going to go and help them.
No burqa.
Nobody will. Men are not allowed. A brand new experiment being done. Why is this? Because the ego says woman is woman and a man is a man. Ego would not allow to see the Creator in both man and woman the same level. In Jainism, they have a belief that a woman can meditate and evolve to a certain level but can never achieve nirvana in a female body. She will have to be reborn at least one more time in a male body. Because only male can achieve nirvana, female cannot. The message here debunks all of these kind of silly arguments. It says, gurmukh jaataa dooja poorai. End of discussion. The master explained there is only one and no other. Ek syo man reya samaa-ay man mane milaavani-aa. So since there is only one, all you need to do is just focus on the one. No confusions, no ambiguities, no doubts. Should I follow this? Should I follow that? Will I fail if I, just like in Islam, Ahmadis are saying we accept Muhammad and Allah. But in Quran, wherever there is a message of the sword, there are chapters which are called surahs of sword. Say, no, we don't want to be violent. We want to live a peaceful life. Islam has declared them they are not Muslims at all. So they are being prosecuted, they are being kicked out. Wherever they try to establish, they chase them out. Why is that a problem? Because the model says they are three. In totality, no exception. Allah, Muhammad and Quran. Three, totally. You accept all of them completely or you are not a Muslim. So when somebody says, I accept everything except the violence, no, you are not a Muslim. But if somebody was to say, there is no other one, there is only one. Is there a possibility of any clash, any confusion, any argument? Just one. Just have faith in one. Remember just one. That's it. No ambiguity here. No confusion, no argument, no discussion, no possibility of disagreement, because the conversation is only about one. Who's nameless, formless, shapeless, totally unconcerned with the human qualities, untouched by them. Focus on one. Ekis syo man rahi-aa samaa-ay. Just with one. Man maniye mane milaavani-aa. Gurmukh hove so salah saachay thakur ve parvahe. Naanak naam vase mane antar gur sabday har maylaavani-aa. But they are few, they are rare, they are very few who accept such a profound and simple message. Uncomplicated, because it does not make any room for the ego to exist. My ego can exist if at least you allow me to say, you are you and there is one God, but you are you. At least you allow me this much. I am I. I'm a man, so at least allow me this much. No. You are a man on the skin level. You are a God at the spirit level. No distinction. And so my ego cannot exist. There is no room for ego. That's why it is so difficult. That's why people run away from this message. Because I want to exist. The I need to survive. Somehow or other it wants to find a way around this. Well, it can find the way around and live in misery forever. If that's what you want, go ahead. But if you are a seeker, you would want to get rid of that misery. How do you get rid of that misery? Gurmukh hove so salah-ay. You follow the path given by the true master, that there is only one. You focus only on one. You remember only one. Which one? Saachay thakur ve parvahe. The ultimate truth. Who is connected with everybody yet unconnected. Ve parvahe. The one who is carefree of all kinds of bondages. Naanak naam vase mane antar. Then that word will go inside your heart. Then it will step down from your intellectual gymnastics of language and step down into your heart, and once it takes a root in there, gur sabday har maylaavani-aa, it will then connect you with the ultimate source of all that is. So this is a hymn 22 on page 122. So we'll take a pause here. And now if there is any comment or question, the lines are still growing.